Daniel O'Donnell was born in Dunlow, County Donegal. He was raised in Kincashla. In the 1980s, Daniel was on a business studies course, but turned his back on it. In his own words, all I wanted to do was sing. Undaunted by suggestions his style might be outmoded or outdated, he confounded that, and wow, Daniel was the first artist to have charted at least one album in the UK for 28 consecutive years. And I'm delighted to come right back up to date on what's been happening as I welcome him on now from his home in County Donegal. Daniel, great to speak to you again. How are you?
Jerry, I'm great, and it's lovely to talk to you too.
Daniel, lovely to have a chat. Now, Daniel, you've been speaking with singers, all sorts of singers daily. Now, our audience appreciate connecting with favourite entertainers. I've been doing that daily. It's made for a real sense that we're all in this together. Mary Rose Devaney from Dunlow and her band were hugely popular on the London scene. Now, we often chat with Mary Rose. She's told us how supportive you are of both established and breakthrough artists at festivals. For example, at the Mary of Dunlow.
I saw Mary last year. I hadn't seen her singing for a while, but she was on the Mary from Dunlow Festival last year. Every year they have a concert in the town the first Sunday, and Mary Rose was delighted to have her, that she was back. Everybody in the town was delighted because she's from Dunlow, so it was great to see her back performing in the main street. Listen, I've been very fortunate, Jerry, through my own career, and if I can do something, for somebody that's starting out, because it's not easy to start out in the music business, and if you can encourage somebody, then it's easy done.
Indeed, well done on it all, Daniel. Now, you've also been proactive in giving something back to the community during the lockdown with necessary permissions and distancing and all that. You visited hospitals, care homes and housing estates for sing-alongs. This has been quite stripped back, Daniel, just with a speaker. But what led to this, and what's the reaction been?
Well, do you know what? Nothing led to it, really. I was just sitting here one day with Magella, and I said, if I got a wee speaker, I could go up to the hospital in Dunlow, because I know a lot of the people in there, and I got a wee speaker from a man in Dunlow, and I went up and sang a few songs. The speaker broke down halfway through it, and then I thought, I'll get one, and I ordered one online, and I just went up again another day and down to Gweedore. And funny enough, when I'm finished with you now, I'm going away to Falcara and Dunfanaghy. I phoned them up. I just phoned up the nursing homes to see would it be any benefit. And I stand outside and they open the windows, and I would only sing maybe for a half an hour, but sure, it gives a wee diversion to the mundane, I suppose, way that things are for the people inside, because there's nobody able to visit, and I think that's what breaks up the day for people in nursing homes, as other people coming and going, and that's not possible now. So it's a small thing to do.
Indeed, it's fabulous, and indeed for people in nursing homes, it really, as you say, it must be tough when nobody can actually visit, when none of the family or friends or that can visit it. It really, really must be tough. So
yes, because and for the staff too, because they are trying to boost the morale of the patients, or the people who are the residents, should I say, who are living in these homes. And I suppose when somebody comes in from outside that's not working there, they bring a different conversation, and people are finding things out that you wouldn't know that's going on in the outside world. So that's all stopped, and this is I suppose it's a way that it can change the atmosphere for a wee while. And the fact that it's important that I don't go in, so I just check to see, is there somewhere I can stand that they can bring some of the residents to, and in a room, and I can sing in through the windows or whatever, if they can open a door. and I have as I said, the speaker, and Asher, I'm very self-sufficient now. If it all works, I'm not great with technology, but I do my best.
It's an absolutely brilliant idea. It really is, and I'm absolutely 100% positive that it brings an incredible lift to people in the nursing homes. Well done. It's brilliant.
Well, I'm grateful to the guards too, because I phoned them, because we're only supposed to travel 5 kilometres, so Dunlow would be the only place I could go. So I phoned the guards to see if I was doing that, would it be okay? So they sent me back an email saying, that if I am stopped by a guard who wouldn't know what I'm at, that it explains what I'm doing. So it gives me that I'm able to travel a wee bit further around different places. But this is my first outing away from home, so this is a big adventure today. I'm going about 20 miles.
What? Yes, it's bearing in mind that you've quite literally travelled the entire world before this.
I know. 20 miles now is a big thing. And funny, yesterday, my sister Kathleen, who lives in a home place, and we live about maybe 3 miles or 4 miles from it. Like the gate, she came yesterday. We don't get any visitors at all, but the gate rang, and God, the excitement when the gate rang. There's somebody coming in. It's strange, really, how we've got used to being so isolated. And people can come in and sit in the car and chat,
yes,
because she's living within the distance. So it's I suppose we've just come to appreciate the importance of connections with people, more than ever, than we ever did.
Indeed. You've also been busy baking and busy with crafts and letter writing and all that sort of thing. And is gardening high on the list?
Gardening is, don't talk about the gardening. We're wrecked, the two of us out. Not that gardening should be that hard, but maybe we're not used to doing anything, that's what's wrong. But we were out, our lawn is full of moss, it's just the way a lot of the lawns here are the same. So we got this scarifier machine, and we went out, and the past 3 or 4 days we've been doing the lawn. Now it's a sorry looking sight now as I'm looking out at it, but the fertiliser will go down now, and believe it or not, in Donegal and Ireland we're waiting on rain to come so we can put down the fertiliser, and there's no rain coming. So isn't that something to be saying, living in Donegal, waiting for the rain to come? We've had the best weather here in the past, 5 or 6 weeks. It's been tremendous. And, I think it's made this lockdown easier, especially for us in the country. And, Jerry, we feel so blessed to be living where we are, because we have so much scope around the house, and you can go out and walk on the country roads and you meet nobody, and I feel for the people who are living in cities and I know that's where they're living and they're used to it, but that they're so restricted, that it's more and more difficult, especially you have children maybe in an apartment or a flat somewhere, it's tight enough.
Indeed so, and everyone's on board with the whole thing. Now, Nathan Carter told me that he's cut the grass 3 times in the space of 2 weeks. I don't think he's got any moss there, but anyway.
Well, I saw him out cutting the grass, and he has a lawn bigger than Buckingham Palace.
Yes.
It's a wild size. I haven't seen his new house, but he got a lovely new house there recently. He's a lovely young lad, Nathan, and he's doing so well. But I saw him out on the. I don't know, has he a ride-on more or not? But anyway, he's getting into the swing of it too.
Indeed, I've been saying to some other people, I mean, many of the singers I've spoken to, and I was speaking to a singer every day here since the whole lockdown, and the one thing about it in general is that I reckon that after all of this, the gardens are going to be stunning. I mean, your garden will be moss-free.
moss free, and I said to Magellan, I says, God, I says, we'll be at the Chelsea Flower Show next year exhibiting. We'll be that good. We'll have the hanging baskets out.
I'll tell you what,
Oh dear.
it'll be the whole thing will be stunning. It'll be Irish singers in bloom at this rate of going.
I know. Well, you have to do something to pass the time, and the fact that the weather's so nice, it's lovely to be out and just enjoying it. We had a big stone that's part of the garden too, and part of it was kind of covered over. Some of it was like a rockery, so we were saying we'd get somebody to clean that. So a couple of weeks ago, away out I went with the spade and started. So I have that cleaned too, and we're setting bits and pieces on that. So it's great. It's a great, as I said, pastime to get to do it. But now I'm quite happy now to look at it and not be doing any more.
Yeah, enough done. Daniel, listen, you scaled back touring somewhat, but we're pleased to see plenty of you in theatres. Now, during time in London for BBC's Strictly Come Dancing, you put in a spontaneous performance of the London Vintage Rally in Greenford, which raises considerable sums for charitable causes. I was MC there with the Irish Radio Roadshow. Now, organisers told me that you arrived and left with no fuss, no expectation or VIP treatment. The fact you stayed grounded, I think, is bound to your appeal with so many people.
Well, we found out it was on. Somebody sent us a message, and Magellan and myself, we headed out. You know what? It reminded me of the days of the Roundwood Festival.
Yes.
The crowd that was there. And I was talking to Mary yesterday. Did you know Mary that used to run the festival?
Yes, I do. Mary Allen. It was her birthday, her 90th birthday.
She was 90, I think it's yesterday was her 90th birthday, or maybe the day before. And I spoke to her on the day. I said, the day's run out. It must have been 2 days ago since I spoke to her. And she was in great form. And when I went into that, that day, when I was over doing Strictly to that event, it reminded me of the festivals and how good they were. But it was a great, all the exhibits and the different things. And I'm sure that's not happening this year. Well, maybe it will. It's because it's later on yet. But everything is getting cancelled, and that's the sad part about. There's lots of sad parts about this virus. The saddest part is all those people who are affected with, family members losing their lives because of it. That's just, the thing that people never get over. But it's just had such a disruption in the world, It's incredible. But that day, and where is it again that it takes place?
Greenford.
Greenford, that's right. That day in Greenford, we were just bowled over with the excitement of it all. It was great.
Indeed, brilliant. The legendary tea parties hosted by yourself and your mother were a great way for people to see you, and now you enjoy the meet and greet at shows. But the calling in for a cup of tea was absolutely fantastic.
Do you know it's 20 years since we had the last one of them? And
wow.
We started them, I suppose, I don't know what year, maybe the late 80s, just by chance. We were doing shows at the Merryford Low Festival, and the first time we did 2 shows, I wasn't at home on the first day. It was a Monday and a Tuesday. And my mother, I came home in the evening, I don't know what I was doing. My mother said, there was a load of people here today, wondering, were you here? And that night I said to them at the show, I says, no, I wasn't there today. And I said, I won't be there tomorrow because it's hard to be talking all day and singing in the evening anyway. But I says, if you want to come on Wednesday afternoon, I said, about 3 o'clock, I says, I'll make a point to be there if you are still here. I said, and she never, just jokingly, I says, you never know, we might have a cup of tea. And you have no idea the amount of people that said, that was a great publicity stunt. Who thought that one up? I thought that up on the stage while I was talking. I didn't even pre-think it before I went out. I just, as I was talking about the people, I said, sure, why don't you just come on Wednesday? And that was the beginning of these open days or tea parties. And it went on until 2000, almost every year. And then, the whole purpose of it was that I would meet people. And in the end, I wasn't meeting only a fraction of the people that were there.
Yes.
I was waving to people in the distance, and it just got too big, too many people. But while it lasted, it was a great event, and God, people came from everywhere, and there was years that this American television, CBS, and there was helicopters flying over taking pictures of the crowd. It was a sight.
Indeed. The whole thing, because of the success of the whole thing, it just became a sort of an overwhelming situation whereby...
Well, this is it, it ran its course,
Indeed. Now, Daniel, we saw you on BBC TV's Songs of Praise last September, celebrating favourite hymns. Performers including mezzo-soprano Catherine Jenkins, Ali Jones and the Kingdom Choir. Now, you're filmed performing the modern hymn In Christ Alone at the Causeway Coast. This was reminiscent of when you were a youngster singing in the choir.
Well, I did. I'm supposed to, like a lot of singers, my first singing was done in the choir in the chapel. And even now, to this day, when, at Christmas time especially, I always sing with the choir. And whenever, we don't have Mass now at the minute, it's all, behind closed doors on a webcam. But whenever I'm at home and I go down, to the weekend Mass, I would join the choir. And that was a lovely show. I mean, I'm always very grateful, to be asked to do these things. You were talking there about starting out in the 80s. I never, ever, could never have imagined where the music would take me and where, the things I would get to do. It's quite amazing, to be playing in the Royal Albert Hall and the Palladium and these places that you only imagine, as a singer. So I feel very privileged, that I've had all the opportunities that I've had. And I suppose, as you said there about helping other people, that's maybe where I get that from, is that I know how difficult it is and I know how much it means to get an opportunity.
Indeed. Now, surely back then you never dreamed of rising to the top of the musical world. And speaking of icons, as you've just mentioned about performing in the London Palladium and all that, it's often said that you should never meet your heroes for fear of being disillusioned. This hasn't proved to be true in your case. You're friends with Sir Cliff Richard, Loretta Lynn, Charlie Pride and many more.
No, and I have to say, those that I really admire have been tremendous. Loretta, I spoke to her. She has the same birthday as Magella, and I phoned her on her birthday, and she's in great form, even though she had a stroke a number of years ago now, about 4 years ago. She's still very alert, although not performing, but she's very alert in herself. And of course, Charlie, I've got to know. He's done a few TV shows with us, and we played in Dallas one time, and himself and Rosine had Magella and myself out to their home. And Cliff then would be the one that we would be in contact with most, out of the three of them. I would see the others occasionally, but Cliff would be somebody we would contact, on a regular basis. He's really, they're all great. They've been very, very courteous. And I always think the bigger the star, the less fuss is about them.
Indeed so. Mary Duffel from Meath was our guest last year. Mary is often on the bill with you. That's been one enduring and successful relationship for many years.
Yeah, it has. Mary decided just this year that she wouldn't travel anymore with our show. And I was shocked really when she said, that she was thinking that she would just, not tour with us anymore, and disappointed a bit too because we have had such a good time. But she just thought it was time for her to maybe spend a bit more time at home. Her father is in his 80s, and she wanted to be with him more, and then just do other things. But we had a great time since 1987. We had over 30 years doing shows together, and yeah, we duets are something that you only find a few people that you can blend with throughout your career. And Mary, certainly for both of us, we had a great musical marriage, should we say. I always say it's a musical marriage.
Indeed. Now, family is important. Listening to Ciara Murphy and family. Ciara makes it home to Glasnevin often. She contributes to us here at Irish Radio through reviews on concerts, plays and books. Now, Ciara is accepting of our situation with family birthdays are coming up for her sister Emer niece Keelan and dad Michael. Also Mam Grania turned 75 in June and is looking elegant. Michael's now a dab hand with technology, so they're in touch. The family had a great gra for Guidor, Bunbeg Beach and the unspoilt North Donegal for holidays. The parents brought sisters Ciara, Orla and Emer there often, including enjoying lunch in your hotel. And the spirit of keeping everyone connected, both sides of the Irish Sea, the Murphy family would be delighted for a little hello from your good self.
Well, hello to them all, and a beautiful part of the world, Gweedore and down that area is, and down Maragallon Beach and all the beaches around. I suppose that's why we're so blessed here. As I'm sitting now talking to you, I'm looking out on what we call Kidju Beach, and it looks out just on the Atlantic. We're only just about a mile from it, and it's just beautiful. So anybody that has, the good fortune to live by the sea, and these times, it's great.
Indeed. Listeners with significant birthdays this week were Geraldine Finucane, who turned 80. Geraldine loves to go to all the music concerts. She's a great baker and helps on the tea stall at the Crawley Irish Festival. As you mentioned there, Mary Allen celebrating the 90th birthday a couple of days ago, and I know you rang Mary personally and spoke to her and wished her happy birthday. Can you just say a little happy birthday wish to Geraldine?
Well, happy birthday to Geraldine too. It's great, really. I know these birthdays are not celebrated the way that you would like them. I was saying that to Mary, but sure, when all the restrictions are passed, please God, and find a vaccine, and we can, live without any worry of the virus, I'm sure everybody will celebrate, whether it's 6 months after or a year after. You can still be 80 and 90 and celebrate in style.
Exactly. Daniel, I mentioned here that you'll be streaming live on Facebook at 8 p.m. on this Sunday the 17th with a couple of songs and a chat for about a half an hour.
Well, that remains to be seen now. I've never been live before, so I have to do all the button pressing myself, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping I'll be on at 8 o'clock, but I would imagine I will be. But, when you're not used to doing all these things, you wouldn't know what would happen.
Well, it'll be an adventure.
It certainly will.
Daniel, listen, it's been great to catch up with you. When you can safely hit the road again, we must speak and also let listeners know the venues and all the rest of it for your shows. Now, your charity single, Don't Let the Music Die, which you wrote and sing with Sean O'Farrell, is out now and is coming with details of how to download it now. Listen, in the meantime, it's great to talk to you.
Great altogether. We'll be letting people know a bit more about that. We hadn't really intended that song to go out as a single. We were only doing a wee thing, myself and Sean, for putting up on Facebook. And then Kieran, my manager, thought it was really good. So it will be available on Spotify. Now, I don't know that it's ready yet for that, but the proceeds are going to go to a little girl in Donegal town. Olivia is her name, and she's only a baby, but she has to go to America, and they have to raise $2.1 million to get treatment for her, just to allow her to live. And we've decided that the money from any downloads of the record, I'll go to that. And there'll be other things too, but we'll let you know about that.
That's excellent. Daniel, listen, it's been lovely to catch up with you, and regards to Magella and indeed all your family, and listen, as they say, stay home, stay safe, stay well.
Thanks, Jerry, and you know you have done a great job over the years, and long may you continue to bring the music to people. Radio is so important, you know, to so many people, and you know, you connect more people than you could ever imagine. So well done for all you are doing, and greetings to everybody listening to this, and please God, we'll all stay safe, as you said, and on the other side we'll dance and sing.